Hey, I figured I'd bring you a customer's bike here. I put a tubeless system. He wanted a tubeless in the front. Already has it in the rear. So went ahead and put it in the front with a IRC VX40 tire, front tire, and also put tire jack in there. And yeah, this is how I like to mount it. So the tire is going to spin that direction, right? Forward. So I like to put the rim lock in front of the high pressure. That way, any flexing or micro flexing of the tire backwards, because it's going to be pushing backwards, isn't going to put any pressure on the high pressure valve stem. So that's why I like to do it. There's a rhyme and reason why I do things the way I do them. That's why I do that. Now, does it really make a difference? I really don't know. I haven't really had many issues with tubeless, so I like to think, yes, it is making a difference. Now, when you used to get your betas, they would have the rim lock on the opposite side. And they were so lazy that they would just install it if you did a build your own beta on the opposite side. Thus, there was too much flex in between and it would tear the valve stem. So then they started doing it properly, putting the rim lock, spaced apart. That would also work for tubeless. And that works great. That works really good. So that's how I do that. I cleaned up the customer's axle. It was pretty dirty. I took these bolts out. We really love our ultrasonic cleaner. I would recommend getting one of these. I don't know, 150 bucks on Amazon. Not that badly priced, and it works really good. Right now, what I'm using for a cleaner is just Dawn dish soap, actually the Kirkland brand, but I'm trying different things. That seems to kind of work really good. I'm surprised. Yeah, there's heavier duty cleaners, and we've tried various things, and right now I'm just trying that, and it really works well on the various nuts and bolts. Maybe not as aggressive as like Fabuloso, which I have also used in there, or I'm trying to think, we had like a carb cleaner solution that a buddy got and put his carb in there with the carb cleaner solution. Now that, oh my god, that'd clean anything right on up, but that stuff's expensive, not going to just use that all the time. So I'm just trying different things. I was thinking about getting some WD-40, like, I don't know how much that would take, 5 gallons or whatever, 3 gallons, fill that up, and try WD-40 as a cleaner. I don't know. It would also kind of help penetrate and lube, and yeah, I think it would work really good. So anyways, the bike, so P-Tech chain guard here for the master, also other P-Tech skid plate, rear shark fin, wanted an hour meter, wanted a tail light, front rotor protection, and needed a new rear brake pedal. We also picked up for them, because we know this guy, we ride with him. They're just cheaper foot pegs, but they're better than what he has on here. You can see those are well worn. So these have been working really good, this brand. I know people are going to say, but Mark, it's made in China. Yeah, so is probably the beta stuff. Probably this too. Where is it made? Does it say? UK, but it doesn't say where it's made unless that sticker is covering. So AS3, kind of like Hammerhead, same style stuff. Yep, he needs a new one, so I'm going to do that this morning here. And yeah, that's going to be this customer's bike. This one also is getting a bunch of P-Tech guards, and we're going to blow out the dents. I'm going to ask Aaron if we want to play around and blow out his dents just to play around. See, as we're putting on that new guard, this can look as pretty as possible. I do have the equipment at home I can bring in and we can use and play around with. This is going to get all new tires. I forget exactly what we quoted for the rear tire. I don't remember which one we went with, so I'll have to ask Aaron on that. Pull that tire. I like to pull the parts sometimes, relax, and somebody's gonna come in and buy a tire and I'm gonna be like, oh my god, we don't have the tire now. So this is gonna get P-Tech protection bits, it's gonna get tires. I'm not quite sure what else. We'll probably check the chain for wear. I know it's getting sprockets. Oh yeah, I think it is getting a chain. That's right. I do have a little pile on that corner. So it's getting a chain, the sprockets. Yep. I don't think we haven't checked Dustin's chain. We should probably do that. Let's see if I can find that thing. Yeah, toolbox right now is a mess. Here it is. So I bought, probably seen this in another video of mine, I bought the Dirt Tricks chain wear, guide thing. And let's see if we can, there we go. So I just want to hold the chain tight, drop that in. Okay. So hold the chain tight by putting it in gear. I'm gonna have my foot down here. You take that, you drop it in. Here, let's go here. Nope, right there maybe. And you see, well, it fall in, it's still good. So that's still good. That's a good chain. Wow, I'm surprised. That's a good quality chain right there. Still good. It looks like it has good wear on it, but it doesn't have really stretch. So, I mean, I'm a chain snob. Just because it has pretty good wear, I would probably personally, I would change it out. But it doesn't have any stretch, so we're good. We're good on stretch. That's pretty cool. What other bikes we have? We have my Cove 800X Rally. Haven't really got to ride it because we're in winter. Had some luggage. I did air filter. I did the tower here, the mirrors. Would like to get a good set of foot pegs. I know they make like a guard that I think goes over this rod. I'd like to get that. Oh yeah, don't want to forget the BRP chain guide. And yeah, and I'll be watching this chain very closely, just because China likes to skimp out and give cheap chains. So I'll probably run this chain for a year, and then I'll probably just replace it with like a good chain. Being that it's a venture bike, street bike type setup, I'll probably go ahead and do a X-ring chain. So it's going to cost me a little bit more money even at my prices, but yeah, I will put on a X-ring chain. Versus the dirt bikes now, I don't run O or X-ring chains. I change the chain, I just watch it for stretch, hence this, or just my eye for wear, and then I change it out. My Beta here needs the air filter, which I got it's kind of like the one in it is a funnel web, and then this is a knockoff funnel web from Nibby. Again, they make great products. That's the same filter I did a video for in the Cove that uses like a cartridge style filter. So I was blessed that they sent this over to me to try out, to compare. I'm supposed to compare it with, I guess, what I have and how I like it, the materials and what have you. So I am going to be reviewing that for them for better development. I think it's a pretty decent filter from the get-go. It's probably just as good as any of the other ones, as long as it filters right, as long as it's lubed up properly and it filters, it does its job. A filter's a filter. Now the funnel web looks pretty cool with the points like that, but I don't know necessarily if it works or lasts any longer. But as you can see up here, my frame has finally cracked all the way through. I knew it was cracked, it finally said, yeah, that's enough of that. So it took a shit. So I have the new one. It's actually in my truck. So got the new subframe. It's just the top portion. You still use, I guess you tie in the bottom or the angled sides. Oh, what else is going on in the shop? We got the E-Ride Minis. We got 2 left. We'll probably hook you up with a good deal on those. Retail prices $3,599. I don't know. Come in and talk to us. We are motivated to just have those go so we can get more bikes. We like to cycle bikes. So can't tell you prices online or in videos or anything like that or advertise, but you come in and talk to us and you're paying cash, we'll probably be pretty motivated to move that one and the one still in the box. And like I said, the price, there's the prices, retail. So $3,599. I probably wouldn't charge you any setup fee, and tax is tax. Can't get away from tax, but we can talk more on not having a setup fee and you know, what else you might possibly get. So come in and check us out for those at A&M Moto Toys in Palmer Lake, Colorado. And then we have a couple customer bikes sitting here that need worked on. We just got the suspension the other day for this bad boy, but he needs a wheel, so we're waiting for the Warp 9 wheel still. I have to update the customer on that. So, I mean, parts take a while. People don't seem to understand. I guess that's the side of the business I don't like, because people are so impatient nowadays. It's like, hey man, we did you a solid. You're getting a good deal here. So this kid T-boned a vehicle on the road. Personally, I probably wouldn't have covered him, but these people are extremely nice, and he's getting all new parts. They paid the whole thing to us directly because they wanted to make sure the bike gets fixed. So yes, parts are in, or at least most of the parts I think are in these 2 boxes sitting here, and we still need the wheel. The wheel's pretty bad. I think we got the switch came in, and I'm not quite sure if we're waiting on anything else. Oh, I think the skid plate, we're still looking for one that's available. But, oh, and it needs to be wired for the battery. I don't know. Kiddo likes to pull on the wires. So this will be like the 3rd or 4th time we have repaired the wires. We keep saying, do not pull on the wires, pull on the connector. But they like to just pull on the wires. And it breaks. Breaks solder joints. Really well done solder joints. So we keep repairing that. So we're going to do that for them too. Anything else? Oh, we did get a set of brakes. We just got some off Amazon brakes, so we don't have to wait for parts or Sur-Ron parts or anything like that. So these are Warp 9 forks. So I'm going to get Warp 9 forks because that's what you can get. It's hard to get Sur-Ron stuff. And he's getting the Warp 9 triple clamp and a Warp 9 front wheel. So he's really hooked up. And I don't know, with the cold weather, I don't know what he's going to be doing really, but it's like you can't really ride. So there's that aspect of everything. This one, what is this one? Oh, we're just waiting for the battery cover to the battery, which is a warranty thing. They said they had them, but we haven't got any packages in, and that's kind of Aaron's job. He kind of knows who to talk to over at E-Ride. So we need the battery cover to replace on the battery, and yeah, and then the small fee, but otherwise it's just warranty because he had the melted connector issue. So it's going to be really cheap to fix. Rocky Mountain Cycle Plaza told this guy that it was going to be thousands of dollars to fix and not worth it. And the kick in the face is they charged him a diagnostic fee for this to look at the connector. Here, let me show you. Yeah, this should be a red flag to use certain shops. So I don't know what that diagnostics fee was. I'm guessing probably 75 to $100 just to look at that and be like, yeah, that right there, no good, no good, milty. This was a warranty item. So all we had to do is we called up E-Ride. They said, oh, okay, and we're sending one out. We'll cover that. And yeah, so that is this. So we'll do a little video on that for y'all. But yeah, disgusting that a dealer was basically didn't want to take the time to call E-Ride, or not educated enough to know this is a warranty item, or didn't even care that, you know, to take care of them. They just, I guess, for thousands of dollars was probably quoting them the battery and the new wire, I'm guessing. So knowing their rates, it was probably going to be $3,000-$4,000, hence why they said it's not worth it. Well, in this space of electric bikes, you cannot be a typical dealer. It just doesn't work, because these people spending $5,000 on a bike are not going to pay $3,000, $4,000. Even somebody on like a Beta, a Husky, a KTM, a Honda, you know, Suzuki, Yamaha, is probably not going to spend $3,000 or $4,000 either. But they're more used to going after those people, and those people say, yeah, okay, whatever, fix it. Or they don't fix it, and then they try to get them to buy a new bike, right? Well, yeah, we do sell new electric bikes, but we also want to make you happy, and we're not going to say, hey, just buy a new bike. Sometimes it just makes sense. Like, if we couldn't get the part and stuff, and you really had to spend the money on the battery, now your option would be to buy a new bike, right? And then sell this for what you could and recoup a little bit of the cost. Or go ahead, use the time opportunity, because some people would say, yeah, just use the opportunity to upgrade the bike if you're going to spend that money. If you're going to spend $3,000-$4,000, yeah, get a new battery, maybe go ahead, get a controller, you know, make sure chain, sprockets, belt, jack shaft, all that is good. And yeah, have basically a fairly new bike, right, for that amount of money. A little more powerful and a little more custom, you know. Although we do like to tell people, if you're going to do stuff, do the front forks, do the wheels with good quality Warp 9 wheels. Usually the power stock for most people is more than plenty. Just make sure the whole system works. Make sure, I wish there was a tool like this for these chains. Make sure these chains are not ungodly stretched and wore out. They're not that expensive. Where it becomes expensive is when that chain breaks and it hits the motor and breaks a motor mount. Where it becomes expensive is replacing the drive belt, and while you're doing it, you might as well do the jack shaft with a good quality jack shaft from Warp 9 with good quality bearings, grease fitting, what have you. You should replace that. A lot of people try to eke out as many miles as they can on these bikes, and they seem to forget, just because they're electric doesn't mean there's no maintenance. Doesn't mean that at $5,000, you know, maybe wheel bearings are a little bit cheaper, bearings in the jack shaft are a little bit cheaper. You know, it's things you're gonna have to realize you might have to replace, and it's not that big of a deal, especially if you can do it yourself. If you can't, yeah, a shop, it costs money. It is what it is, right? We gotta pay rent, we gotta keep lights on, we gotta pay for heat, we gotta pay for water, we gotta pay with triple net snow plowing, we gotta pay for garbage. You know, there's expenses to having a business. Oh, insurance. We're required to have insurance on the space. So if you slip and fall or whatever might be the case, it burns down. Yeah, you know, then yeah, everything is covered. Customer bikes are covered because the place burned down. You know, might take some time, honestly, for you to get your money. Everyone would be upset, of course, but in the end, you'd probably make out pretty good, seeing as your bike was in to be repaired anyways. And that blue one doesn't even have a VIN number because it was stolen. That's how we met them. It was stolen, and they got it back and it was scratched off or ground off. So that bike is literally, if somebody's worried about having a VIN number, is worth very little, sadly. Yeah, so that's pretty much what's been going on in the shop here. I need to buy another tool case. The ladder's out because I set it there and I access up there, and we have some stuff up there stored. I have a little pile of stuff to take up and just put up there, trying to get a little more organized. I already thought out what I'm going to do here as far as a workbench, and I'm going to make sure it's probably this high. So where are we? So I'll probably come up like 6 inches from the sink, have it up here, a nice tall workbench, so you're not leaned over. Plus then I can put the ultrasonic over here to drain it, to clean it, and all that good stuff. Or depending what chemicals are in it, then obviously into a bucket, but I can put the bucket in there and drain the chemicals into there, not down the drain. So don't worry, not putting bad, I'm talking about what I have in there now, water and Dawn dish soap, this stuff, the Kirkland brand. So that's what I have in there right now. So that can just go down the drain. You know, that's no worse than your kitchen. But yeah, a bench here. I'm gonna do probably 8-foot 4x4 posts for the ends, for the back. It's gonna be heavy duty because I want it so we can pound on stuff. Yeah, right now the table was just there to kind of get an idea. I had moved the shelf that was there over to split the kind of the retail section, although we have customer stuff that came in. Oh, because that box I can get rid of now. That's my box of stuff. That's a helmet that came in, and then some box or some stuff to give away. No, not the West Wind, but I got some Klein pants here, giving those away. Got some hats and stuff and what have you, just going to give away. But yeah, so this will be cleaned up, and this is kind of our shelf. We got the pet stuff, which is expanded, more and more customers, so that's good. And then this is going to kind of be like my kind of AMSOIL, but we have an AMSOIL dealer in town, Yax. He's a really nice guy. You know, he doesn't care that we also are AMSOIL dealer. He doesn't care at all. And we mainly use this because we use this. But I'm thinking I'm going to start carrying more of the modal stuff, because there is a lot of guys that love to run the modal. So I think we'll have some AMSOIL, what we use here in the shop, like, you know, brake cleaners and brake fluid, and, you know, I do run the 2-stroke stuff, whether it's Sabre or Dominator or Interceptor. I kind of switch it around, always run different ones, but yeah, I do run that stuff, so that's okay to have. And then, you know, I do like their racing grease, so not having some racing grease on hand, don't mind. So we'll have like a little part of AMSOIL, but I want to drastically expand the modal section, and then we can really be like the modal dealer. And then I'll have air filter treatment and cleaners and treatment, so I want to expand that. For the Cove Adventure bike, with being the cartridge, a spray oil would be really good. Got odor eliminator for helmets, we got brake cleaner here that we use here. I like this. I like the AMSOIL brand. Just ran out of AMSOIL, but well, I just buy whatever. However, AMSOIL you have to put it in bigger order, so sometimes from our other supplier, just getting what they have works better, and it works just as good. But yeah, so we have plenty of shelves to put that type of stuff on, and if I have to, I might do one more shelf out. I think it would bring it to the line here, and then that would be a good kind of like separation of customer coming in, because right now we have an issue. Customer comes in, and if I'm in the office right now, I've been doing taxes, for example, doing bookkeeping software, learning that. So yeah, that's been a challenge for me because I'm not an accountant type person. I don't have that type of mind, so it takes me a little longer to learn that. So we're finally getting on board with doing our business stuff properly with bookkeeping software. So yeah, if I'm in there and I start coming out, they're already like walking this way, like beelining it, you know, or they wander over here. Still, I won't be able to corral them to stay over here necessarily, but this area, if I have a shelf there, they feel more like, oh, this is the area I should be. That's the work area. That's kind of where we store our personal bikes for now. Although if we keep expanding and growing, then I'll have to take it back home, you know, or just only leave one here. But right now, both are here, both live here. But yeah, one might have to live at home. Aaron has a few bikes here, his cross trainer, his DR. Of course, we have our prototype bike, the only one in the country, the Star Stage MX-30. He's supposed to come visit us. We'll see if Michael really's come visiting us in the spring. He says he's going to ship the bike closer to when he's going to come, the other bike, plus the parts for this one. I don't know. I really don't know. I give it a 50-50. So I feel good about it still that he's probably going to come. But yeah, 50-50. And then my wife's high boy, Aaron decided to keep this one. We got it running with new batteries, or newer batteries, for his daughter. So, but that can go back to my house if need be. You know, I can just easily, I can put that in my house. That's not a big deal. He could probably take that one home. Good thing with the electrics like this or whatever. Now I can just roll this around the side of our house into the basement and just store it in the basement. You know, same with this bike, really. I could do the same thing. Some people would be like, oh, the batteries, are you worried about that? Yeah, a little, but I mean, anything can always happen at home. You know, I'd be a little more worried about while charging, and I would probably only charge it while I was, you know, at home type thing. Kind of like our electric car. We charge it while we're at home, you know. But yeah, I mean, yeah, gas typically is not just going to ignite sitting there, right? Something would have to cause it from an outside source, like a spark, or you're already having a fire, so then it just really goes up. Versus electric, yeah, things can happen, but usually that's to people that are doing modifications, or they open batteries and they don't know what they're doing, and then they cause an issue, right? This bike, supposedly we're supposed to still get parts. We won't talk about it. Then, like I said, Aaron's cross trainer, my bike needs slight love, and then it's good to go. And yeah, that's it. That's the shop, and that's what's going on right now. I'm just working in there mainly. I'm going to do this pedal, but I've been working in there doing bookkeeping software. What a bunch of fun learning that shit. Anyways, got to get that done though, so we can get our taxes done, so then we can get our personal taxes done, because yeah, it's going to be a good return. My wife way overpaid because she's changed jobs, and anyways, so just on hers alone, it was going to be, well, I could go buy a bike, I'll just say that. I won't give you, but with typical my business write-offs and my YouTube write-offs, because that's a business too, and then I have another business for drone flying and stuff, so I potentially will get back just as much. So it's going to be like a really, like, you could buy a small car. It's nice. Luckily my wife is the bread earner, so it just goes against what she pays in taxes, and she pays a hell of a lot in taxes. So yeah, we're good to go. Anyways, you all take care, stay well, stay safe, my friends, and get out there and ride. Even in the winter, it can be a lot of fun.